The sky over the Black Sea is a strange and silent battlefield today. It is not filled with the thunderous roar of jet engines locked in a dogfight. Instead, a quiet hum fills the air. A sleek, gray American MQ-9 Reaper drone glides through the clouds, its cameras and sensors watching everything below. It is the eye in the sky, a persistent stare that never blinks. Its mission is surveillance. Its pilot is safe, thousands of miles away in a comfortable air-conditioned room in Nevada. He sips his coffee and guides the multi-million-dollar machine with a joystick, a world away from the cold winds and potential danger over the water. The appeal of drones can be boiled down to two simple, powerful concepts: cost and risk. Let's start with the money. An F-35 Lightning II costs over $80 million per unit. That is just the sticker price. Training a single pilot runs into the millions. Lifetime maintenance and operational costs, astronomical, projected over $1 trillion for the fleet. Now compare that to the MQ-9 Reaper. It costs around $30 million. A fraction of the price, a game changer for military budgets. Then there is the human cost, impossible to quantify. When a manned fighter jet is shot down, a pilot might be killed or captured. Think Francis Gary Powers, U-2 shot down in 1960. A downed drone creates a different problem: loss of equipment, potential leak of technology. Despite the undeniable advantages of drones, both the Pentagon and the People's Liberation Army continue to bet big on manned systems. China is rolling out its J-20 Mighty Dragon, a direct competitor to the American F-22 and F-35. The United States Air Force, in turn, is already designing the next-generation fighter jet, a platform meant to ensure air dominance for decades to come. Why? Because there are some things a human pilot can do that a remote operator, no matter how skilled, simply cannot. The primary reason is adaptability. War is the realm of chaos. The electronic environment is a mess. Communications are being jammed. A drone, reliant on its data link to its operator, could be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind. It becomes a flying brick. A human pilot, however, is still in the fight. She can rely on her eyes, her training, and her instincts. Furthermore, a manned fighter jet is a far more versatile asset. A single F-35 can perform a staggering array of missions: fight, bomb, conduct electronic warfare, and gather intelligence, sometimes in the same sortie. This leads to a core concept: presence. A pilot in a cockpit has a physical presence on the battlefield that a drone lacks. It can deter an enemy or reassure friendly forces in a way a silent, unseen drone cannot. The argument for manned systems goes beyond just the physical capabilities of the pilot and their aircraft. It delves into human cognition, intuition. A seasoned pilot develops a feel for their aircraft and for the environment around them. It is a sixth sense, born from thousands of hours of training experience and near misses. They can sense when something is wrong before the warning lights flash. They can anticipate an enemy's move from subtle cues that can't be easily coded. Consider Captain Sully Sullenberger, the Hudson landing. No simulation could predict that specific mix of factors: altitude, airspeed, location over a major city, availability of the river. It was Sully's experience, his calm under pressure, that saved 155 lives. Commanders know combat has Hudson River moments. Moments when rules stop applying and survival needs creative problem-solving and inspired decision-making. This is also about trust. A general needs absolute faith in assets overhead. Could they trust an autonomous system that might misidentify a target or react inflexibly? The black box of AI is a real worry. Even programmers sometimes can't explain a decision. In life-or-death fights, that ambiguity is unacceptable. Chain of command needs accountability. You can't court-martial software. So the human element adds ethical, moral judgment. A drone operator thousands of miles away looks through a soda straw camera. They lack the full situational awareness of a pilot. A pilot can see the school, the hospital next to a target. They can see civilians fleeing. That broader context informs whether to use lethal force. This moral agency is a responsibility leaders won't outsource yet. For all their technological sophistication, drones have a critical weakness: an Achilles heel that manned systems do not share to the same degree. They are completely dependent on the invisible threads of the electromagnetic spectrum. Drones are controlled by data links, beam commands from a ground station, often routed via satellite, and send back video and sensor data. This reliance makes them highly vulnerable to electronic warfare. An enemy with sophisticated EW can jam these signals, severing the connection between drone and pilot. A jammed drone can be lost, fly aimlessly until it runs out of fuel, or be hijacked. This is not theoretical. It's happening now. In Ukraine and in Syria, both sides have used electronic warfare to disable drones. GPS signals, which drones rely on for navigation, are routinely spoofed, tricked into thinking they are elsewhere. That can cause a drone to crash or land in enemy hands. In 2011, Iran claimed to have captured a US RQ-170. The episode exposed a terrifying possibility. The enemy could seize an armed drone and use it against US forces or civilians. A pilot in a cockpit cannot be hacked. The network itself can be attacked. Satellites, ground stations, and C2 systems could be crippled. Then expensive, high-tech drones would be useless. Manned systems can operate independently. That resilience is critical. The future of air combat is not a simple choice between man or machine. Man, machine. Instead, it is about the partnership between them. The dominant concept emerging in military strategy is manned-unmanned teaming. A single manned fighter jet will act as the leader, the quarterback, for a swarm of semi-autonomous drones. Loyal wingmen will fly alongside the manned aircraft, extending its senses and its reach. The pilot will not micromanage each drone with a joystick. They will give broad commands, like a coach directing a team. Scan that sector, engage those air defenses. Provide electronic jamming for my attack run. This approach combines the best of both worlds. The human pilot provides high-level strategic thinking, creativity, and ethical oversight. The drones provide expendable mass and specialized capabilities. For example, an F-35 could send a loyal wingman ahead to scout heavily defended areas for surface-to-air missile sites. The cheaper, unmanned drone can take risks the pilot cannot. If it is shot down, the pilot still gains valuable intelligence without being in harm's way. The drone becomes a robotic canary in a coal mine. This teaming concept isn't limited to the air. On the ground, a tank commander could direct robotic ground vehicles. At sea, a destroyer could act as mothership for unmanned underwater and surface vehicles. The US is developing Skyborg, the Navy Ghost Fleet Overlord is emerging, and China is pursuing similar integrated unmanned systems. This hybrid approach multiplies the effectiveness of the human soldier and lets a single operator control a much larger battle space. The decision to keep building powerful manned military systems is also deeply rooted in the psychology of great power competition. For nations like the United States and China, military hardware is not just for fighting wars. It is a powerful tool of diplomacy, deterrence, and national prestige. An aircraft carrier is more than a warship. It is 100,000 tons of sovereign territory. When a U.S. carrier strike group sails through the South China Sea, it sends an unmistakable message. A fleet of drones, however powerful, simply does not carry the same symbolic weight. You cannot conduct gunboat diplomacy with an unmanned boat. The flyover of stealth bombers, the port call of a guided missile destroyer, the joint exercise involving tanks and infantry. These are ways of communicating intent, demonstrating capability, and deterring aggression without firing a shot. High-end manned systems are a benchmark of technological and industrial might. Developing a fifth-generation stealth fighter involves advanced materials, aerodynamics, and complex software engineering. When the United States fields the F-35, China responds with the J-20. When China develops new anti-ship missiles, the US designs new defenses. Manned platforms are the titans in this modern clash of giants. While drones are important supporting characters, the main event still involves these heavyweight champions. They are the centerpiece assets around which entire military strategies are built. As long as the United States and China see each other as peer competitors, they will continue to invest in the big, powerful, and crude systems that define what it means to be a military superpower. One of the most profound yet often overlooked hurdles to a fully automated military is the issue of trust. This is not just about generals trusting their machines, but about the public trusting its military. The decision to use lethal force is the most solemn responsibility a government has. The introduction of autonomous weapons, killer robots, threatens to break this covenant. Public apprehension acts as a powerful brake on full autonomy. This is why military officials emphasize a human will always be in the loop or on the loop when it comes to lethal force. They try to reassure the public that technology will remain a tool, not the decision maker. A soldier on the ground needs to trust that close air support won't mistake them for the enemy. Building that trust will be slow and incremental, earned through years of flawless performance in limited combat roles. Until that day comes, human judgment, accountability, and public trust ensure that no matter how smart our machines become, they will serve, not command. The future of warfare will not belong to the drone, nor will it belong solely to the manned fighter jet or tank. It will belong to the hybrid force that seamlessly blends the strengths of both. The battlefield of tomorrow will be a complex, interconnected web of systems. A combat cloud. The human's role evolves from hands-on operator to mission commander, strategic thinker and orchestra conductor managing automated systems. This shift requires new training, warriors comfortable with data analytics, network management and creative problem solving as well as traditional combat skills. The winner will not be the nation with the most drones or the most advanced fighters, but the one that can integrate them most effectively. The most robust network, the most reliable AI, and the best trained human commanders. They are building a bridge between past and future, a formidable hybrid force where the human mind and the silicon chip fight as one.